My sister slapped me at her wedding. My twin sister Clara met her fiancé in high school, but they didn't start dating until after graduation. I never really approved of them getting together. In fact, I tried everything to break them up. I knew Clara wasn't loyal, and I tried to get him to find out about her sleeping with other guys while they were together. But she was smart and knew how to not get caught. He was completely clueless, and I was a loyal sister who refused to give up her secrets. She knew I would never tell him the truth, which is why she trusted me with her biggest secret. She was cheating on him even throughout their engagement. So when the day of the wedding arrived, I told myself I had to tell him so that he could decide not to marry her. I was Clara's maid of honor, and arrived at the wedding venue before the rest of the wedding party. I waited in front of the church until the limo carrying the men arrived. I took a step toward Clara's fiancé, Bradley, but my mom cut off my route to him with a frown on her face. "The caterer just called," she said. "She isn't coming. She has the flu or something." This was a disaster, but then again, there might not be a wedding if I could just talk to the groom for a moment. Bradley disappeared into the church with his groomsmen, unaware that his wedding was about to be a disaster. "I have to talk to Bradley," I told Mom. Her frown deepened. "The bride and groom don't need to know about this. Call anyone who can help." She handed me a phone address book and her cell phone. She was still living in the Stone Ages. I didn't realize address books still existed. I flipped through pages until I found a list of caterers and began calling the numbers. Only one of them was available on such short notice, and the food was going to be fancy sandwiches. Fine, whatever. I had to find Bradley. I entered the church and hurried toward the men's dressing rooms. The groom's dad stood outside the door and held up a hand when I went to enter. "Where are you going?" "I need to talk to Bradley," I said urgently. He shook his head. "The men are getting dressed. You can't go in there." I was getting desperate. "You don't understand. This is something he really needs to know. It's going to affect his wedding." The groom's dad narrowed his eyes at me. "Are you trying to ruin their wedding?" he demanded. My eyes widened in shock and I tried to look innocent. "Absolutely not," I snapped. "I just have something very important to tell him. It's about my sister." He sighed and pushed open the door. "Go on then," he muttered. "They should be done getting dressed." I hurried into the room and found Bradley sitting on a couch and joking around with his groomsmen. They all looked surprised when they saw me, and Bradley quickly stood. "I have something to tell you." My heart raced in my chest and I was breathing hard. He nodded for me to continue. "Clara is cheating on you." The words burst through my lips and it was too late for me to regret them. I watched as emotions passed through his expression until he settled on anger. He glanced at his groomsmen. "Excuse me," he muttered, storming from the room. I felt awful but satisfied at the same time. I was absolutely devastated when my sister announced her engagement to him. I headed out of the dressing room in the church and followed the sound of yelling and sobbing. My sister and Bradley were standing in the middle of the church arguing while Clara sobbed openly. When she saw me, her expression changed to something murderous. "You!" she screamed furiously. "How could you do this to me?" I stared at her coldly. "You did this to yourself," I replied, my expression stone. Everyone was probably wondering how I could be so cold-hearted. I continued, "After all, you stole Bradley from me first." Jaws dropped as everyone watched us like a tennis match. No one but my family and his family knew the truth about what happened. My twin sister betrayed me in the worst way possible, pretending to be me and sleeping with Bradley, who was my boyfriend at the time. She claimed it was the alcohol, but I knew the truth. She was a horrible person who was always jealous of me. But I finally got her back. Now everyone knew the truth about what kind of person she was. I didn't see the attack coming, but I should have. She stormed toward me and slapped me hard across the face, the sound echoing in the silence of the church. For a moment, she looked triumphant. Then I slapped her back.